Australia has some 800 species of birds, ranging from a big selection of parrots up to the large flightless emus and cassowaries. Our intention is to feature the most unusual of them, starting with the animal world's greatest copycat, the superb lyrebird. They're the master of mimicry, with the male capable of 100 different calls. Using his extraordinary powers of mimicry, his repertoire includes everything from his fellow forest dwellers to even the cameras of bird watchers. His vocal talents are accompanied by a vigorous shaking of his tail feathers. The lyrebird is such a show-off that his act takes place on a specially prepared earthen mound, a performance stage he builds for the occasion. One call he mimics almost constantly is that of the stone curlew. Another of his vocal tricks is to merge many different calls together, one after another. It's all a tactic to win the affection of a female. Superb lyrebirds are a pheasant-sized songbird found in the forests of southeastern Australia, from southern Victoria to southeastern Queensland. It takes 7 years for them to fully develop their tails. During courtship display, the tail is fanned forward beyond his head to form a silvery white canopy. Another bird that displays enormous affection are rainbow lorikeets. With their bright red beak and colourful plumage, rainbow lorikeets are among the greatest of romantics. The rainbow lorikeet lives in coastal regions across northern and eastern Australia. They congregate in significant numbers whenever trees and shrubs are in flower, using their brush-like tongues to gather nectar and pollen. They're an extremely amorous bird, spending long periods being affectionate with their partners. In the vast, lush wilderness that covers the northern tip of Australia lives a most unusual giant flightless bird. This is the southern cassowary, their legs so powerful they've been known to disembowel a man. Once a year they mate, the female squatting on the rainforest floor while the male attempts to seduce her. This position of intimacy allows us to see how they've been equipped with their own tough helmets, like a medieval warrior. While hers remains unscathed, allowing her to crash through thick undergrowth, his has been broken in a fight with another bird. The result of their mating session is a superb solitary chick, who maintains his black and yellow striped covering for the first 3 months of his life. Another large Australian bird is the emu. It's the male of the species who incubates the eggs, a part-time job he conducts between feeding sessions. After 60 days of incubation, cracked eggshells are all that remain as the newly born chicks forage for their first insects. Their black and white striped plumage will be replaced by the deep brown feathers of their parents. And once again, while the chicks are brooding like this, it's their father who looks after them. All of this activity is watched over by the lord of the Australian skies, the wedge-tailed eagle. With a wingspan wider than an average car, this eagle is one of the world's largest and is known to kill baby kangaroos. Another classic Australian bird is the kookaburra, the laughing jackal. This is the call of the Australian bush. This chorus of raucous laughter from one group of kookaburras proclaims their territory to neighbouring clans. This species survives by preying on skinks and other small reptiles. One species which thrives in the rainforests of southern Queensland is the regent bowerbird. This mother is trying to feed her offspring a dried sultana. Time and again she tries to force feed them, but it's a taste and texture they clearly can't digest. She has more success with the red berries of the snake vine. Within 3 weeks, the young ones are old enough to leave the nest, with their first flight a thrilling moment. Still in their nests are these tiny mistletoe birds. They're growing in a nest their parents have made out of the empty sacks of spider eggs and soft plant down, wrapped in cobwebs. As the youngsters scream for food, their parents return with the sticky sweet fruits of the mistletoe tree. It's a healthy diet, which sees the babies pass the seeds out within 20 minutes, a process aided by mother. One star of Australia's waterways is the black swan. Right from birth, newly hatched chicks are so alert and mobile they feed themselves. They grow quickly, the down of the black swan chicks darkening in colour so that by 4 months they're independent. Fully grown, black swans will spend long parts of each day washing themselves. An affair that's often very boisterous. In partnership, displays by black swans are sheer poetry. These birds will remain paired for several seasons, with rival males asserting their territorial rights with slow, stately parades. The billabongs and waterholes of Central Australia attract a host of wildlife. Brightly coloured grass finches come in to drink every few hours. 18 species of these finches have been identified in Australia, all displaying their characteristic of habitually cuddling together in close physical contact. One area that attracts tens of thousands of birds are the vast flooded coastal plains of Kakadu in Australia's far north. The flurry of bird activity reaches a crescendo in the annual wet season, with big flocks of magpie geese rising skywards at the same time. One endearing species is to be found among the water lilies that choke many of Kakadu's billabongs. This is the extraordinary jacana, or lotus bird. These floating lily pads would collapse under the weight of any other bird, but the jacana has enormously elongated toes, which allow him to spread his weight over a large area. Travelling this way means he can find the many insects, snails and other smaller life forms that congregate just under the rim of the lily pad. Where the jacana is one of Kakadu's smallest birds, the jabiru is one of the largest. The tall and stately jabiru is Australia's only stork. To the east of the Australian mainland, Lord Howe Island is renowned for its bird life. 5 species of birds here can be found nowhere else on the planet. Lord Howe is the southernmost breeding ground for masked boobies. while the wedge-tailed shearwaters give a piercing cry at night as they reunite with their chicks. On the top of Mount Gower live some 100,000 Providence petrels, a species found nowhere else in the world. They roost on the heads of climbers and will fight intruders, including other Providence petrels. At the base of Mount Gower lives another species found only here, the Lord Howe Island woodhen. These flightless brown birds are about the size of a bantam and eat worms, molluscs and other invertebrates. Adult Lord Howe Island woodhens pair for life. The woodhens came close to extinction recently, but a vigorous campaign has eradicated predators and their numbers are once again on the rise. On low branches above the woodhens are the common white tern. This exquisite bird nests on a bare branch at eye level during the summer, where it's easy to see parents feeding their young. High above fly red-tailed tropic birds, a species that actually flies backwards in courtship. North of Lord Howe Island on Lady Elliot Island, the tropic birds can be found nesting on the ground. This pair has just incubated an egg and are now nursing a fluffy chick. First light finds hundreds of white-capped noddies roosting on the trees that surround Lady Elliot Island. This is a substantial breeding colony for these members of the tern family. And as the day warms up, they'll head out to sea to fish, returning on dusk. Other birds, such as egrets, prefer to catch their meals on the exposed coral reefs. Way west in the Indian Ocean, the skies above Australia's own Galapagos, Christmas Island, are filled with birds soaring on the thermals. Golden bosun, white-tailed tropic birds, and the world's rarest frigate bird, the Christmas Island frigate bird. The males are resplendent with the inflatable red-coloured throat pouches they use to attract females during the mating season. Christmas Island is a major breeding ground, with nesting birds and their chicks in abundance. One highly visual breeder is the brown booby, which nests on the ground amongst pinnacles and inland cliff edges. They're distinguished by chocolate brown plumage with white breasts and powder blue beaks and yellow feet. In contrast to the red-footed booby with their white tail and red feet. The birds of Australia. Plentiful, colourful, varied.